All right, we are back live on Radio Row. This is Thursday, Super Bowl 58, Mandalay Bay, and we have an amazing guest. I met this gentleman in the elevator at the hotel, and we have talked from there to the Mandalay Bay, which is about a 15, 20-minute walk. And it's the one, the only Charlie Young in the building here sitting down with us. How you doing?
I'm doing, I would say fantastic, but I'm doing great.
It's awesome. It is number one, great to have you. And when we first met, I knew he was somebody. I just didn't know who he was exactly. He said, Google me. I Googled him. He's a former NFL player, a Super Bowl champion, played for a variety of teams. And so just give us, introduce yourselves to the people watching and a little bit of background on yourself.
Okay, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Charlie Young, and I am a very blessed and unique individual. I've played in many teams, as is indicated. I played for the Philadelphia Eagles. I played for the Los Angeles Rams. I played for San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. In the last 10 years, every one of those teams have been into the Super Bowl.
Right.
And what I'm trying to tell you is I've always been a winner. And I've been a winner because I've trusted in God. And when you trust in God and have faith in that, He will take you to where you need to go. Right. And right now, I'm here at the Media Row talking on this show.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then when I met him, he was already talking to Ben in the break room. I was coming to get breakfast, and I saw he said, "Come on over, man, and let's have a talk." So I just kind of working my way over there and was just listening to the story. So we look forward to hearing your story.
Well, let me tell the story. Let me tell you the introduction and how I got started.
Okay.
And it's good. I had been here all day yesterday. I went to the 49ers and all that type of stuff. And I got back, it was late at night, and I was tired. I was very tired. I didn't have any Tylenol. I didn't have any of that. And I walked all this way, and I went back to my room and passed out. And I was going to sleep in.
Right.
But the Spirit woke me up. Because I was going to just lay down. And then it said, get up and go. And so I got up, dressed myself. And I was always look good. If you look good, you play good.
Right.
And so I picked my Stetson hat on, put it on, and I sashayed down to the elevator. And I got to the elevator, I pushed the button, and lo and behold, there were 4 people in there. And he was in the back, had his suitcase, and getting ready to go. And I spoke to them. I came in, I spoke to everybody in there. I wished them good morning. And I sat down and I had a chit chat with my friend right here. And I asked him, where is he from, where he's going? And he's from Dallas. And Dallas is only right down what they call I-35 from where I'm living at.
Right.
And then we started talking. Then I was listening to his speech. And in his speech, it betrayed him. It told me that he knew God. And when he knew God, then it just opened up.
Right.
And then we began to talk, and he was telling me that he had this show at Table 36. And I said, let's go there. And that's how I got started.
Right. And one of the things we talked about is talking to people, being welcoming to people, presenting yourself as your approach. Talk about how important that is in life.
Well, first of all, in life, and all of these people here are trying to make connections.
Exactly.
And they're trying to make connections. They're trying to improve themselves. This is a place, we'll call this a Hopeville. Because everybody's hoping that they make a connection to get what they need done, and so they can progress in whatever they're doing. So this is Hopeville. And since I am a purveyor of hope, I need to be in this place.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so, and as you saw, everybody that came up, I interjected myself into what they were doing.
Right.
I spoke to them first.
Right.
And I don't know if I can say this on this radio station.
Okay.
But they said, in their mind, they didn't come out and say it. They would say, "Who is that guy right there?"
Yes.
But they didn't say it like that.
But they're pointing and say, "Who is that guy?" Yeah.
And because anytime you go somewhere, and this is for your listening audience, wherever you go, you act like you belong.
Exactly.
If you act like you belong and you carry yourself like you belong, then God will open the doors for you to go and be where you need to be.
Right. And that's why when we came this year, we knew we had to come in. That's why we upgraded the mixer, the mics, the backdrop.
Oh, this is good.
We knew and it's going to it draws people. And they see a backdrop and they see what the setup that you have. So, yeah.
Yeah, because they look at it and they're looking, they're coming over here and saying, oh, who are you guys? What are you guys doing? And we're like you said, God said we belong here. And then we had to act like that. We belong here.
Right.
See, first of all, let me say something. As I was telling my friend here, I don't know if oh my goodness. First of all, since I put it this way, since it is a Black History Month, and you two are outstanding Black people, and you're doing a great job. And so when you do a great job, then you prepare yourself, and you got the little crown right there, and got the and you got all this stuff. You're conducting yourself like, hey, I am it.
Yes.
And so, and when you have that, and then you have the backdrop, matter of fact, I can say this now. When I walked over here and I saw this setup, I said, these guys are for real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Trying.
No, wait a minute. Ain't no try. Either you do or you don't.
Right.
And be like Nike and just do it.
Just do it.
Right, exactly. So you've played for 4 teams, like you already mentioned: Eagles, Rams, 49ers, Seahawks.
Philadelphia Eagles. Yes.
What was your? Was there a favorite, or what was your most maybe impactful experience on the team?
Well, it depends on the stage of my life. And when I got to Philadelphia, it was my first team, and the coach that I had, he was the best coach I could have. Why? Because he allowed me to be me.
Yeah.
Right.
And see, and that's the essence of any great leader. And when he has people and he allowed them to operate within that system based on how they do things, and he coaches to that, and then he will get the best out of them. And at that time, this guy's name was Mike McCormick. And Mike McCormick, he allowed me to be me, and I performed for him. They call it Rookie of the Year. I was Rookie of the Year. I was all pro. I led all tight ends and everything, and I did all of those things. And as you checked it, as you've been Googling me, and as you checked it, you will see when I asked for some money, then all of a sudden they brought the hammer down on me.
Right. Yeah, and so talk about the evolution of the tight end position.
Oh, the evolution of tight end. First, when I came through, do you play golf?
No.
Okay, if you play golf. Okay, if you play golf, see, but most of these people, they play golf, and golf is the sport of business.
True.
And because they have clients out there, and they have them for 4 hours, and you can't get your idea or something across in 4 hours, something wrong with you.
Right. You got to get your pitch across.
And so now, getting back to your question, when I came out, I was one of those hybrid clubs. You can use it in any situation.
Yeah.
And because you got to understand, at the University of Southern California where I played, I was a consistent All-American, and I was the lineman of the year and the leading receiver at the same time.
Definition of a hybrid.
Yeah, I was a hybrid.
Yeah.
And it was at that time it was very few. Well, actually, there was no one like me, but there were some who imitated, and some who tried to duplicate it, but none could be me.
Right.
And so, but when I played, I led. And I was we'll call a leader, and see, a tight end interfaces with everybody.
Everybody, right. They have to block. They got to be able to catch. They also have to be able to route run, and it's a multifaceted position.
That's right. And whoever has a tight end, and most of the people who have tight ends are in this game.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
In this game. See, now let's look at the 2 tight ends they have.
Right. We're going to ask that same question. Let's break it down from the tight end. Yes.
Let's break it down. Now, from the tight end position, and it depends on how he is used. And as you know, everybody knows that the Kansas City uses their tight end. He improvises. He's an improviser.
Right.
He's a virtuoso. He improvises. and he's the best thing about it. He's on tune. The quarterback and him is on tune. They can run. They don't have no set pattern. They just go and get open.
Yeah.
And see, before They didn't do that before, but now they're doing that because they know the value of it, and they know because if they have a person who can do that, then they can do that. That's what a good coach does. Now, we looked at Kansas City. Now we look at San Francisco.
Yes.
San Francisco got also a great tight end, but they used him mainly for blocking.
Yeah.
Now, if they would turn him loose, that crazy. He's a wild man.
He is, yeah, right.
Yeah, and
so,
they're both amazing.
Yes, and so it is the coaching staff and how they use their players.
Right.
You see, and that's a sign of a great leader.
Yeah.
A great leader. You see, and the coaches that are on these teams, they are managers, and they just manage the entity. They manage the position.
Right.
See, but the coach is the thinker. The head coach is the thinker.
Right.
He has to think, and he has to get his people in there and tell them what needs to be done. He is the visionary.
Right.
You see.
Right.
I mean, I'm getting excited.
No,
it's
great that you're breaking it down from a tight end or just a football perspective in itself. Talk about the actual, like, all the tight ends that have come up, the Robert Krauskys, the Shannon Sharps, and everything else. Talk about that tight end position you said from when you played and what it is today.
See, the difference is when I played, oh man. See, when I played, the game was different.
Yeah.
The game was so different that you didn't get off the line. They beat you off the line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you didn't walk down there and draw.
Right. It was more physical.
More physical, yeah.
No, it wasn't physical. They beat you down.
They beat you up, right?
Nice term.
Okay.
You asked this guy named Terry Bradshaw. I saw Terry Bradshaw as a quarterback get power drive by a guy named Joe Turkey Jones. And he,
I love it.
That's a name there.
and he picked him up and power. He was power driven. And if you tell him that, he'll know that. And see, and before, like right now, if I do this to the quarterback and I get the
Right.
And see, but back in those days when we played, it was when you came off the line, they beat you all the way down the line. And it wasn't no so-called pass. The only pass interference is that when you was going up for the ball, they clubbing you deep.
That was the only pass interference.
That was the interference, right.
Yeah. Talk about top tight ends of all time. Or maybe a top tight end of all time. Who would you put in there?
No, put me in there.
Yeah, why not?
I love it.
Yeah, couple big hand claps. I'll hand clap for that one.
See, like I tell you, it is the system that you're in. And all these tight ends now, they're in systems which they're using them because they have evolved to the point that in order to win, you have to have a tight end.
Right.
A tight end who can get the job done.
Right.
Look at the last 10 Super Bowls. And when Gronk was playing, he played with what's that guy named Brady?
With that TD?
And take this Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes, he's playing with Kelsey, and that's a tight end. And everybody before had a tight end. And so those who have tight ends, and they can work the system because they interface with every player on the field.
Right.
They have to work with the line. They get those calls. They have to work with the backs because they make these they run routes the same. They work with the receivers and they work with the quarterback.
Right.
Now, if you're working with everybody on the offense, you're working against everybody on the defense.
Right. True. Wow. So we had a long talk on the way here, and we talked about a variety of different things. But one thing we talked about was the tree, the fig tree, and that and talking about the Bible and how it needs to be read, it needs to be understood. Talk about the importance of that and what that means to you.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me tell you a story, and most people don't know this story, and I'm gonna tell them the story.
Okay. We love stories.
Yes.
Especially from you.
Okay, here it comes. I had the best parents in the world. No disrespect to anybody else. I don't have no sad story to tell you about how this life I live out that way, and my father wasn't there, and this type of thing. I don't have that story.
Yeah.
I have a story of love. And that story is taught me that my parents were the best parents in the entire world. No disrespect to anybody else. Now, hear me and hear me well. And I don't want you to judge this book before you hear the story. My mother and father, they were in the drug business. Yes, they was very good about it. And so I don't want you judging me by that. Because my parents, they drugged me to Sunday school. They drugged me to church. They drugged me to afternoon service. They drugged me to night service. They were in the drug business. I didn't understand it then, but I was a child that had a hard road to hoe. And see, I was the one that was blessed. I was the one that was going to come to the media road. I was the one that was going to travel far and wide. And so I had to have some strength.
Yes.
And in that strength, they instilled the word in me. They said, trust in the Lord. They gave me that proverb, Proverbs 3 and 5.
Yes.
It says, trust in the Lord with all thy heart and lean not to thy own understanding.
Yes.
Because out here, there's danger everywhere. There's especially an athlete, women come everywhere. And some women just throw themselves out there to you. And then they trap you. Then you're trapped.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked that lady came up here. Now, why did you come up here?
Like, why are you here? Why'd you come?
That's a real legit question.
That's the real legit question.
Today's time. I mean, maybe during your time too, during that era.
Wait a minute, hold it. During my time. Now, see, during my time, I was looking better than this.
Don't get it twisted.
Sharp.
Now, listen. Let me tell you a story. And see, there's danger, and being a black man, you always have to be on your guard. Case in point. Last year when I came here, there was a huge story coming out about this guy who played football. His name, I'm not gonna say his name to protect the innocent, but his number was 88, and they had accused him of some wrongdoing, and they all of a sudden the NFL didn't use the law. They didn't use what they called proven innocent until guilty. Right. They cut him right off, and then they told him to get out of the hotel. Yeah. You remember that story?
I remember that story.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. There's Kellen Winslow.
Hey.
That's a great tight end.
Yeah.
He is.
Okay. Now, getting back to the story. And see how I flow?
Much respect, you guys on the air.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Love to shake your hand. Thank you, sir.
And see, since I met you, people come from all over the place.
Yeah, you're right. You automatically.
No. I saw you, and I came to you. Now, getting back to the story. See, the story was this. And they had gotten him out of there, and they had accused him, and he was automatically proven guilty without even having the say-so.
Right. But no say-so, no facts.
Nothing.
Just you're guilty, and you got to deal with it.
And see, and people right now, they're watching us right now. Everywhere you go, people are watching you. Right. You're always on the scene, and so they didn't expect the cameras, because the cameras don't lie.
Yeah,
and so they try to tell this narrative, and then they try to tell you what he was saying, blah blah, because there was no voice, there was no video, there was video, but there was no audio.
Yeah,
and they say, well, they ain't gonna try to interpret it for you to tell the story with the narrative. Well, he did this, he said this, and blah 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 blah. Right. But when they looked at the film and they looked at the narrative, saw what was going on, then they settled out of court because number 88. Went and got an attorney and filed $100 million suit.
Yes. Yeah, you did.
And then all of a sudden you didn't hear anything about it. You didn't hear. And all of a sudden they settled out of court.
Right.
And they kept a hush. He can't say anything about it because that's part of the agreement. Right. So but I can say it because my signature's not on there.
You're like, no, I'm not part of that. Right.
And that number 88 is loved in Dallas.
But anyway, we didn't mention no names and nothing like that. Right. So, but what we're trying to tell you is that you always have to be on your P's and Q's. Yes. Because an old wise man told me this. And I listened very clearly because that's why I got 2 ears and 2 eyes and 1 mouth. It said this: the downfall of a lot of good men is the upkeep of too many women.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Message.
Yeah, that's
Hold it. You asked me to come on. I told you I'm not politically correct.
we
keep it all the way real on all of our shows.
Yes.
Now we do have a couple of questions here. We got a viewer, Nathan from Chandra. He says, ask Charlie about his best moments and toughest defense to go against when you played.
Well, first of all, hear me. I'm not an unusual player. My toughest defense was me. And my toughest player was me. Why is that? Because when I got a little nervous and I didn't believe in myself, and see, you have to believe in yourself, who you are and where you are. And see, I told you, my parents were in the drug business. They drugged me to Sunday school and they drugged me to church.
Right.
But in there, I read that I could do all things through Christ. That strengthens me. And so as long as I remember that, as long as I went out there and played and believed in myself, I did what I was supposed to do. But then when I had doubt, and then when I had fear, then that was the toughest time.
Right. Definitely.
I hope I answered your question.
Yes. Oh, you did, definitely. And thank you, Nathan, for tuning in. He said, we are good friends with Leonard Marshall and Lawrence Taylor. He said, thank you so much for stopping by as well, for us meeting each other. And we said this was not by chance. There's nothing by chance.
No,
everything is orchestrated and for God.
Yeah, I got one more question for you.
Good.
You won the Super Bowl with the San Francisco 49ers in 1983. Tell us how that.
No. 1982.
82. Okay. 82. Tell us about that experience and winning and all that.
Okay. I'll tell you what went into that. On that team, you had all of these Hall of Famers on that team.
Yes.
So when we played, they wasn't Hall of Famers. They were trying to make their way. They were trying to play.
Right.
And so in order for me, as I told you earlier, sometimes you have to reinvent yourself when they try to hinder you.
Right.
And so I had to reinvent myself. I knew that I wouldn't be the focus player anymore, so I had to get the people around me to improve.
Right.
See, when you got people around you improving, then you help them, that helps you.
Right.
And so on the team, they have an award there in San Francisco. Only the San Francisco players and the team know what that award is. It's called the Len Eschman Award. It's an award that's given by the players and the coaches for the most inspirational and the most courageous player. On that team, I won that. And that was the first time in the history of the San Francisco 49ers organization to ever win a championship, to ever win a Super Bowl. And I got that award then. And then along the way, since I had been to the Super Bowl, I know what goes on here.
Yes.
And everybody, you got people calling for you for tickets, old friends calling you this and that, and you were trying to do this, all this, and your mind is away from what you have to do. They probably don't have that now because they're making so much money now. They can hire people. Well, you get the tickets, you get that from you. And then they can speak my speech. But it wasn't like that then. And so we went down there. I had to go and encourage them. And I told them, we don't win this Super Bowl without you. You see, a person that's not starting, a person that's on the bench, a person that's mad, he has to be encouraged because he's getting discouraged because he hasn't played. And so you have to tell them that you got to be ready because if anything happens, somebody go down, it's your time. You were born for a time such as this.
Right.
And so you go and you get prepared, you get ready to play. Yes. And then once you get in there, make that guy believe that the other guy should have got hurt. You see, make him believe that. And so then that's right. And then during that time, I got everybody, as many people as I could, to come to what we call chapel service. We can't go to church because we playing on Sunday. So we had to get them to come to chapel service. And so they could be encouraged. They didn't know what they was going up against. Nobody never played in the Super Bowl game, and these Super Bowls different. The Super Bowl is not like the game we played last week, and there's no other game like this.
Right. It's the last game of the year.
And the whole world is one. And so this is your stage, this is your time. It's just like Esther in the Bible. When Mordecai came to him, and who knows that you were born for a time such as this.
Yes.
Right.
Mic drop.
Right. So prediction. Obviously, we're here at the Super Bowl.
I'm not a frog masticator.
What team do you like?
I'm gonna put it like this. I'm gonna put it like this: whoever wants it the most will win.
That's true.
And whoever, let me tell you this, and this is one of those mic drops.
Okay, another one.
I need a mic drop.
Here it goes. You know, I never lost a game. Time ran out.
There you go.
And so you don't lose until you give up.
Wow. That's a quote.
That's a
be on
mic
the show.
drop.
That is a mic drop.
You don't lose until you give up.
Right. You're hearing it here.
Yes.
Charlie Young, former NFL player, Super Bowl champ. What are you here for on Radio Row? What brings you to Radio Row?
You brought me to
Gotta give you credit, yes.
Radio Row. I came here because I met you in the elevator. Now tell the story. Tell the truth. Now you were in the elevator, looking at your phone, had your suitcase in there, trying to figure out how you gonna get home. This and blah. blah. I came in there, and I saw you, and I greeted everybody.
Yes.
Am I lying?
You're not lying.
Okay, I
Tell them the truth. Tell them the truth.
And that's why there was this president a long time ago. He came out. He was a governor in California. He was an actor. You know, all the presidents are actors anyway. And so he was an actor. But one thing he did say was this: trust but verify.
That's true. That is it. That is it.
So I'm asking these people who listen to your radio, believe what I said, but verify.
Verify. Right.
You have to.
Right.
Just verify it.
Right.
Do your homework. Do your research.
Right.
And when you do your research, you will see. You will see. And so, and when they, I know a lot are gonna be googling now. And they're gonna get that so-called TOPS card and look at it. They say, well, I'm gonna tell you what they're gonna say, but I'm sort of hesitant to say it on the radio. They're gonna say, I'm gonna check what this nigga say and see what. See what type of stuff he had.
Right.
And they're gonna check and say, yeah, I see he led this, he led that. But right here, everything dropped out. Right there, when I was fighting for my free agency, when I went to fight for my free agency, they said we got to stop this.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We know where you're going with that. We already know. Yeah, we go.
And you had to reinvent yourself, like we talked about.
Yeah, and so you have to reinvent, and we went to court, and so at that time we went through the union and all that, and we had won the free agency back then. But they somehow, in their wisdom, they sold it back to the owners and for a closed shop. And a closed shop means this: everyone that come into the union, come into the league, had to belong to the union.
Right. Yeah.
And so
everyone was not a part of the union.
No.
Okay.
No. It's just a progression. You grow in each time, just like you guys. You started and probably started with the phone, and then you got one microphone, then got two microphones, and then got a mixing board and everything, and look all professional now, sounding good.
Right. Yes, sir.
That's what it is. So you don't start off running and all that type of stuff. You start off walking. Right. You start off falling first. Right. You try it, but it's that persistence.
Right. Persistency is key.
And trusting in God. Right. See, most people don't even realize that they go through some trials and tribulations, and they cry and they whine and all that. They don't know that when you don't become great unless you go through a great trial.
Right. You don't have a testimony.
That's it. And that's what that's for. And quit whining and just meet the challenge. And that's why I did that program called Despite the Odds.
Yeah,
I got a little podcast and it's called. Notice how I brought that in there.
Yeah. Well, you're a podcaster, so you know how it works.
I want you to talk about that. What is it about? Yeah. What are some of the guests you have? When does it drop? Is it live?
Well, see, I'm in school. I'm a scholar.
Okay.
Now, scholar means basically that you got a scholarship. Scholar means that you are a student. A scholar means that you're going to school. That's a scholar.
Yeah. Right.
And then once you understand that, once you understand what that word means, then you'll know that you're a scholar.
Right.
And then it changed the whole narrative.
Right.
And then when you say, I'm a scholar, that lifts you up.
Right.
And so,
that means you're forever learning.
Yes, you're forever learning. That's why they used to say, a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you got a lifelong learning. And that's what I'm doing.
Right.
I was lifelong. I go to school, and I'm going to school, and I'm taking these classes, and these classes called, what they call? They call RTVB, radio, TV, and broadcasting, and film.
There you go.
And in there, they wanted to start a podcast. So I started that podcast, and they want you to do something for class. But I wasn't interested in doing it for class. I was doing it so I could be on the big stage.
Right.
And so I had to work real quickly. And so I started doing Despite the Odds. I had to come up with a good name. That is a good name.
I
know it is.
That is a good name.
Despite the odds. You know why it's so good? Because everybody's going through an odd. Everybody's going through something.
Right.
And they don't need hope. And see, just like this lady we met. It's like the lady we met when we was eating breakfast. When he came around, he was sashaying around by the end. He was hustling.
Yes, I was definitely hustling.
Yeah. And so she was there, and she was telling the story how she overcame. And I told her, I said, "Give me your information. You belong on my show."
Yeah.
And it's called Despite the Odds on Spotify. And I did the story about Michael Irvin last year, and just for my classes, and they were good too. And see, and this is how I do it.
Despite the odds.
Yeah, I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Charlie Young, and welcome to Despite the Odds. It's a program about overcoming the challenges of life, and there will be many.
Man, you have the voice. You have the voice.
Yes. And you got the voice. see, but now I throw this in. I said, and today's program is being brought to you by. No, I have to change it. Today's program we would like for it to be brought to you by Nike. Why Nike? Why? Because we just do it. And also Maxwell House Coffee. Why Maxwell House Coffee? Because we're going to be good to the last drop.
I love it.
You know, Charlie. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Kellen Winslow in the house.
You can't see him. Okay, cool. So what are some takeaways or some you want to give to, or some encouragement you want to give to the? Yes, sir. You can right over here.
Yeah, get over there.
Yes.
Let's see. Now, Kellen Winslow.
Get in here. Get right in here.
And see, when Kellen Winslow played, he played with a coach that allowed him to do what he was supposed to do, and he excelled at that. He was the man. Yes, he was the man. So I was surprised when San Diego went out there and played Cincinnati, and all that snow stuff and all that cold weather, and they walked away. Oh, she's calling me. Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
So we have the great Kellen Winslow,
Hall of Famer.
So just sitting down.
I have my own cheer group.
Yes, sir. But glad to have you on on BSU Network here live on Radio Row, and we're talking with Charlie Young here. Talk about how you know Charlie, what's you guys' relationship, and
evolution of the tight end position too. We're just gonna listen.
Right. We just want to sit back. I'm not saying anything else.
Nothing but love and respect. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's Charlie.
Yeah.
That's all you got to say.
Let me tell the story.
Just love and respect.
See, Kellen Winslow, he played with outstanding quarterback. That quarterback, let me see what's his name. He came out of Dan Fowler. They were playing for a place called Air Coryell. And you couldn't come in there. It's the air. It was all, they had satellites and everything all in there. And they played. And the ball was always in the air. And he played with a guy that was, what's the guy's name? Jefferson. And all of the
John Jefferson, John Joyner, Wes Chandler. They had
a plethora.
Legendary.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about the tight end. Obviously, both you guys are tight ends. Talk about the evolution of the tight end position. You got Kelsey and Kittle playing in this one.
It's the tight end position. People, always say, well, it started with Kellen Winslow in San Diego. It did not. There were guys who could do what I did. They just didn't play the guy with Coryell.
He could foresee something.
Well, he decided to take the fullback out of the game, put the second tight end in, use the tight end as a move guy, look for the mismatches, give the quarterback the okay to go through the reads to decide how to distribute the ball.
Right.
And that's why we had 3 receivers with over 1,000 yards receiving, 3 receivers with over 10 touchdowns in a year, and we were 1, 3, and 5 in the top 3 categories in passing for 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, 3 of us went in the top 5. Charlie could have done what I did. He didn't play for Don Coryell.
No, see, it is the system that you're in. And
you said that.
That system. Yeah.
Right.
Is that system. Now, we all stood on the shoulders of guys who came from. There was a guy named Mackey, John Mackey.
John Mackey. Come on. If John Mackey had played in the system.
Yeah.
See, all these guys were outstanding. And see, now, Kellen is being a little modest and stuff. Kellen is being politically correct and all. And they were, from the outside looking in, they were bad.
Right.
Yeah, and they carried themselves like what's that guy named MC Hammer? You can't touch that. and they possess that.
Right.
They carry themselves like that. He's not going to tell you that. You see, but I can tell you that. You see, because I'm watching. You know, game knows game.
Right. Game recognized game.
Game recognized game.
Right.
We had a good time. We enjoyed ourselves. We were a very close team. This was back before free agency.
Right.
We were together for a long time.
Right.
I played 9 years. 8 of my 9 years were with Dan Faust at quarterback.
Wow. And that is rare.
You're not going to see that in
in
today's game. But we had an offensive scheme. We had Joe Gibbs was our offensive coordinator.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah. My head coach is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Right. My offensive coordinator is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. My quarterback is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. My other wide receiver, Charlie Joyner, is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Wow.
I stand on the shoulders of greats.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Greatness.
That's it.
Hall of Fame.
There it is.
That's it.
Break down the game. What do you see the Kansas City Chiefs, what they have to do to win the Super Bowl, and what San Francisco 49ers do?
I'm from an AFC. I'm going with the Chiefs.
Okay.
The most picks are made with your heart, not with stats. I don't care what these so-called prognosticators say. They get down to, I like the red, uniform, or I like the white pants. That's how they decide who they want to win. It's more of a fashion statement sometimes than it is insight. I'm an AFC guy. I have to go to Kansas City Chiefs. I love what Andy Reid has done there.
Amazing.
Mahomes is just fun to watch.
Yes.
And you get down to the tight end.
There it
There
is.
you go.
There it is. The tight end position. There it is.
That's the story right there.
The premium. Yes.
No matter who he's dating. You have to give him respect.
Love it. So in today's NFL, is there anything you see that you feel, both you guys, you feel needs to be changed, adjusted, or anything? Okay. And we got to wrap it up. But thank you.
I'm going to let Charlie answer that question. It's been a pleasure being with you.
It's been a pleasure.
Our pleasure is ours. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Kellen Winslow.
Yes.
All right, man.
This was a joy. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time. No problem.
Appreciate it.
See what I told you? Because of you.
Man.
There it is, Kellen Winslow.
Okay, who else?
Charlie Young.
Everybody
come on.
You got a 10 o'clock, and then
I do have a 10 o'clock. You're right.
And that lady's gonna be coming back.
Right.
10:30.
We'll leave it with that last question. Anything in today's NFL you want to see different?
No. Basically, I hope they take care. Well, today's NFL, they take care of their retired players who have played in this game. Guys who are dying off on a regular basis.
Yes.
And they're allowing them to die off before they get any benefits.
Right. And that's just simple humanity. That's caring for your fellow person. But we do know this is a business at the end of the day. All business have a corporate responsibility. True. Not only to the community, not only to the military, but the people that played and helped make the thing. Right. And you have to take care of them because they took care of you. Right. They've made you obviously a ton of money, and they have promoted your brand. With the players, that play on these teams, they add so much value that whatever they ask for, it should be given. But
not whatever, because it is a business, and they have to make
it is limits. Yeah, right.
See, but they can share those profits.
Right. They can share that wealth, literally.
Yeah, right. We've got a couple more comments. They say, fantastic interview from the NR Hour Sports Show. Thanks for that. And his parents.
Yeah, so this is my dad here. My mother and father, they do a podcast as well on the network. And this is what a blessing to have the Hall of Famer Kellen Winslow.
That's right.
Talking about legendary player who elevated the BSU network to the highest level. I mean, it is
Now, what's your father's name?
Ben, the same as mine.
And Ben, this is Charlie Young. Charlie Young would like to say that you have done a magnificent job with your son. He is a PK, and I met him in the elevator. And so I want to thank you. He will be calling you later and to tell you that, first of all, that he loves you. And second of all, he is going to say to you that he is so thankful for all the sacrifices in which you made for him.
Yeah. And I do that just because your parents instill so much in you.
Right.
And like the Bible says, when when you are young, instill in them, give them everything they need. When they get old, they won't depart from it. And that's exactly what my parents did.
Actually, what it says is train up a child in the way that it should go. And so when it gets older, it shall not depart.
Exactly. Well, we thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And I am so glad that we interacted. And where can everybody find and follow? You said the podcast is on Spotify. You'll be here. So any other way, shout outs for yourself or where people can find and follow you?
Well, I don't want people to follow me unless they are going through something.
Yeah. Okay.
And if they're going through something, they can tune in to Despite the Odds on Spotify.
Okay.
And I have about, I tape and I tell the stories of how you can overcome. And I get stories from interviewing people. Yeah. And so if anybody that's going through something and then they check that out, and then when they check it out, and they like it, then they can listen again.
Yes,
I'm not asking anybody to subscribe. I'm not asking anybody to do any of that stuff. You listen if you want to. If you don't want to, don't be bothering me.
Exactly.
Well, thank you. Thank you again so much.
Yeah, we thank you.
Pleasure, sir.
It was a pleasure.
And we will be right back with more live coverage here on Radio Row.
Yes.